Okay, so I'm making this video for somebody in the CNC cage group on Facebook that had asked about adding 2 layers of Coroplast together, like when the cage is too large. This is, we're looking at a piece of my 3x6 cage where I actually had to attach 4 pieces of Coroplast because that just seemed to end up being the least amount of cutting. With 2, we would have ended up having to cut more edges. Anyway, the seam that I'm showing you is actually one of the worst seams of the cage, because there are 4 seams, but I wanted to show you the worst one just to illustrate that this method does actually work, and we haven't cleaned the cage. I just rolled back the mat here. But I just want to show you that we actually aren't having any leakage or anything. What I did was I took a piece of vinyl, and it extends from about here. Hopefully, maybe if I come down closer, you can see the vinyl starts about here, and it ends over here. So it's the black lines are just where I drew to make sure that I got a straight cut, and they obviously didn't wipe off, even though I did do them with a dry erase marker. But anyway, this piece is, I bought it from Joann's. It was just vinyl in their utility section, although I later found out that this is the exact same thing that that they make shower curtains out of, you know, the shower curtain liner, and that probably would have been a little bit cheaper than buying it per yard at Joann's. But anyway, next to on the edge here, when they're like how I got this down, I didn't want to use packing tape because it is kind of thin, and you know when you peel up packing tape, you get this residue afterwards. So I thought if we ever had to replace it, it was really going to just ruin the Coroplast if I didn't get it right back exactly in the place where the previous piece was, that I'd have this residue sticking to the tidy mats and everything, or cage mats, or whatever you want to call them, basically the fleece with the U-Haul padding that we put on top of this. So I don't know if you can actually see this in the video. There's a line here and a line here. What I did was I actually cut strips of clear contact paper and put them down. The nice thing about this too was I was able to put one side, you know, the far side down before we laid the cage down, and just leave that backing on the contact paper, so it helped us get it pretty straight. And you know, I don't have any issues with leakage. It's a pretty tight seal. It would be easy to replace. Anyway, the last thing, I'll just go back and point this out, even though I talked about it in the middle, was this gap here, and that's why I had picked this particular area of the cage to make the video in, was to show you that I've got white Coroplast and a white table, but there's a pretty significant gap here. I mean, this is it's about my fingertip size if I were to use my pinky. But we've never had any leakage. The cage has been together for about 2 years, and at one point we even moved it. We did not disassemble it to move it. We actually just folded it along these folds, and I think that's why, if you see all these speckles, they're just little pieces of hay that are actually stuck underneath. You know, like they're actually stuck underneath the vinyl, which I think happened when we moved it. But anyway, I feel like this has been a pretty solid way to attach 2 sheets together and be able to build a cage that's larger than you can with a single sheet of Coroplast, because I've actually had more problems with my corners where I folded the Coroplast and leakage there. I've never had a leakage problem in here, even despite the size. Okay, so I guess that's about it. I'll go ahead and end the video, and I hope it's been helpful. Bye.